So here's something that doesn't make sense to me, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about it. So obviously, yes, the Surface Duo 1 and 2 just received the Android 12L update. And other than eBay, the only place you're going to buy this phone would be either Microsoft's website, Amazon, Best Buy, and all three of those locations right there, except for Amazon has like a couple left, are all sold out. And all of them who do have stock left, Amazon, and I know I get comments all the time, UK actually has a lot of stock when it comes to the Amazon UK app. There's Best Buys in the UK who actually do have stock of this phone still left. But I am talking strictly about America here. Why is it that it's impossible to buy this phone, yet after they just released this brand new software that's highly exciting, that's highly out there, and a lot of people want to pick up this phone, yet they can't? So this does not make sense to me. Now, obviously, yes, Microsoft has come out and said, we are having a shortage when it comes to production of these units, and we are going to get back on scale as soon as possible, and we're going to get as many units shipped out as possible so we can actually, start meeting the demand for these units. But not only did they make the price tag $1,500 again, which was $1,000 for the longest time, they also still yet to have these units shipped out. And this is the kind of stuff that absolutely destroys these phones. Okay, there's only a certain hype window when it comes to these foldable phones whenever they are released. So for the Surface Duo 2, it was obviously when it first launched, and now. For the Duo 1, it was when it first launched, and then once Android 11 came out to the phone, those are the very strict hype windows. The worst thing you can do as a company / anything is to not have any units ready for launch when the update happens. So you might say this, well, first off, obviously they just don't have enough units. Like, that's nothing really. First off, they should not have released Android 12L until they had enough units ready to sell. Second, they should have at least made the price tag $1,000 again. This should not be $1,500 a year and a half after it was released. This is still ridiculous at the fact that this price tag is back up to $1,500. I said in the previous video, my theory is they want all the stock of this phone to sell out on third-party websites, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Amazon, whatever, so that they can go ahead and start selling to retailers again this phone at a $1,500 price tag. That makes perfect sense in my mind, but why would they not wait to release Android 12L until that time? It's not like Microsoft cares about us as consumers, okay? I'm gonna be plain simple, straight up honest. We have seen many, many, many times Microsoft simply does not give a fluff about us. They have lied to us. They have, refused to give us features. They have refused to give us support on these devices for the longest time. And without public backlash, they simply just tried to avoid everything. So if they're not if they're not making this decision based on thinking about the community of this device, then there has to be a reason why, right? I just can't think, other than the fact that they really do want to wait to sell out all the units. But again, if they flop like this, which I've said many times, they flop with the Surface Duo 2 when it first releases. Do not release that phone until it is perfect. There's no bugs, there's no glitches, no problems with the phone. Do not release it yet. And then they release it, and what do you know? Day one, it has glitches. Surface Duo 1, day one, it has glitches. This just kills your whole entire argument on why the consumers should buy this phone. And I'm saying this as in an angry way because I want this phone to be successful. I want this phone to be mainstream. I would love for the Duo 1 and Duo 2 to be a flagship market phone. Because what happens is when these are flagship, you have actual competitors. And nothing makes a phone better or technology better than allowing competitors to join a marketplace and actually benefit, go head to head with one another, and make the best unit possible for the consumer. Because when you don't have competition, what you have is you have $1 billion company that doesn't give a crap about us. And that isn't helping anyone. So it really is just frustrating that this is still yet a problem. And again, not only that, I know people who watch my content who the Android 11, obviously wasn't the crazy update of all time, but 12L, sorry, not Android 11, Android 12L, this has made them interested in this phone. There has been reports of people's Galaxy Z Fold 3 screens dying randomly, which actually happened to 3 of my friends. The inside screen actually died randomly. Galaxy Z Fold 3, bought a year ago. Inside screen just dies. Not sure what's going on with that, why that is happening, but it has happened to 3 of my friends, and that is a very tight, that's a very small group. That it's not like this is like, oh, well, 3 people I know across the whole entire world. This is 3 people I locally know. I'm not sure what's going on there. But if you're trying to sell this unit, if you're trying to get this unit out there, you can't flop like this. And especially during the holiday season. This is when people have the most money, the most extra money to buy these devices and actually use them. So the last thing I'll say, right? This is the last idea I have. And that is the reason why this is not available is because Microsoft is not trying to sell to consumers anymore. And hear me out, because that might sound crazy, right? How would they not want to sell to consumers? That makes no sense at all. Well, because consumers are useless to them. The best way to sell this, and the same exact concept with their VR headset. You know about Microsoft's VR headset? Wait, you don't? Oh, that's because it's $3,500 and you can only buy it if you're a business. So here is how you do it. The consumer, the regular Joe with a cell phone, is not your base anymore. That's not your consumer base anymore. Now that you made this Windows S, now you sell 30, 40, 50 units to a company, maybe a big company, small company, whatever, and they give them to all their, employees, and they have a work phone now. And that's what this is. Maybe you sell this to schools. You sell this to different other, industries across the world. And that is what I was kind of scared. I never talked about it. I never talked about this idea. But in the back of my head, I'm like, this idea could eventually happen where Microsoft just says, you know what? We're not going to, obviously they'll still sell to consumers, but there'll be a limited supply they give to consumers because every unit made, they want to sell to the businesses. And there's a big reason why you do this, right? When you create units of phones, let's say I make 1,000 iPhones, right? And I'm a company to make 1,000 iPhones. If I sell those 1,000 iPhones to 100, let's say 10 different businesses, I give 100 per business, right? If they don't sell, they just sit there. And I don't get my money, right? If I sell to a business, I get paid for every single unit that they buy from me. Because they're buying strictly, directly from me. They're not buying and then reselling this device. They're buying strictly from me. That's actually a bad example because with a company, they actually still do that. My point is, though, you're not guaranteed sales. Actually, here's a better example. On Microsoft's website, right? When they make 100 units on Microsoft's website and they put them up, there might be 3 of those units to sell in a month, right? They might sell 3 units. That's 97 units that were wasted that simply were not met demand. They were not demanding for those units. It's the same issue with Oppo with the Find 5G. There was 1.5 million people signed up for that phone, But guess what? There's probably only like 200,000 people who actually bought that phone. Same concept here. If they make 100 units of this phone, then and no one buys them, then it's just a waste of time and money. But if they sell this to a company or a business, they're going to get paid for all 100 units, and they're going to make them and ship them out. So that's my 2 cents. I know I rambled a little bit in this video, but I want to go ahead and give my thoughts and ideas on paper and ship them out to you guys. Because I want to hear down below in the comment section your thoughts and ideas. Because maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm absolutely insane. Maybe RTT doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think it makes sense in my head. And maybe it makes sense in yours. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.